Pop star Kesha stepped into court recently to talk about her alleged abuser, Dr. Luke, and her Sony contract. I'm going to read to you a couple of different TMZ stories. The first story was posted on February 18th of 2016 and is titled, "I'm ready to face Dr. Luke in court." The story says, and I quote, "Kesha is on her way to New York City for a courtroom showdown with longtime producer Dr. Luke, but says there's no way she'd be making the trip without her fans." Kesha supporters have vowed to protest outside the Manhattan court Friday morning. "We just got her at LAX before her flight, and she got emotional when we asked her about the planned rally. She's fighting to get out of her Sony Music contract and claims Luke abused her sexually, physically, verbally, and emotionally for years." Kesha's been gearing herself up for pouring out her heart on Instagram, saying things like, quote, "It's just so scary to have zero control in your fate. Tomorrow will be very interesting." Now, before I read you the updated story, rather the second story that was posted on the actual court date, I just wanted to read to you something that TMZ pointed out on her Instagram page. She had a picture of the sky, basically, of the sun. And she capped off the picture by saying, quote, "I have nothing left to hide. I did this because the truth was eating away my soul and killing me from the inside. This is not just for me. This is for every woman, every human who has ever been abused. Sexually, emotionally, mentally. I had to tell the truth. So the outcome will be what it will be. There's nothing left I can do. It's just so scary to have zero control in your fate. But this is my path, this life, for whatever reason. Hashtag Friday." So TMZ also posted a video of them speaking with her. So if you want to see that, or if you want to read this news story for yourself or whatever, it's all up on my blog. You can click the link below. And if you can't find the description box for any reason, that's fine. Just let me know in the comment section. I'll hook you up with a link there. But the link to my blog where all the information is right there in the description box if you need it. So the second story was posted on February 19th of 2016, and the story is titled, "Kesha, Sob Face Comes Out After Judge's Decision." And the story reads, and I quote, "Kesha couldn't hold back her tears as soon as the judge announced she had to honor her contract with Sony Music. A New York Daily News photographer captured the emotional moment Friday in a New York City courtroom. As we reported, the judge refused to grant Kesha an injunction that would have allowed her to record music outside her Sony deal. There could be tougher days ahead. The judge has yet to address her allegations of sexual, mental, and emotional abuse against her former producer, Dr. Luke." End quote. Here's the deal. I have no idea of how long her contract is, and I would love to know that. I wish the story would have mentioned that. And the reason why, I wish that they would have said how long her contract is supposed to last, because if she only has, for example, one more year to go where she can't express herself musically, then that's one thing. But if her contract is for another, for example, 5 years, I mean, that can be really damaging to her career. Financially, it could be mentally damaging to her because she has to wait that long before she could get to the studio again and express herself and make money. I don't really know how much money that she has put away from when she was putting out albums and whatnot. I think she put out 3 albums. I'm not perfectly sure of exactly how many, but she put out TikTok, that hit single, sold I think 5 million, 6 million records in America alone. And that came out in 2009, but it's 2016 now. So that was 7 years ago. Can you believe that was 7 years ago? I wonder if she still brushes her teeth with a bottle of Jack in the morning. I really wonder. But anyways, yeah, long story short, whether the allegations that she made against Dr. Luke are true or not, I have no idea. I want to believe her. I mean, it's Kesha. She's freaking awesome. I've been a fan of hers since The Surreal Life. Remember Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie show? Kesha and her mother's a musician, and they were on The Surreal Life with Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. Kesha and the girls were looking for a man to hook her mother up with on a date, and she found a black dude that she sent her mother out on a date with, and they were dancing and whatnot. Oh man, I was like, well, this chick is cool as hell. I mean, just from that show alone, she just seemed like a real cool chick. And then when she came out years later with TikTok, I didn't realize it was the same person. I found out online that was the chick from the Surreal Life, and I was like, oh, okay. But she was cool as hell. Her and her mom. So, anyways, and y'all know I love me some Nicole Richie, right? That's my girl. But anyways. Those are good times. And the Surreal Life is a funny show. Nicole Richie is freaking hilarious. I know that this is so incredibly off topic, talking about Kesha on the Surreal Life, and this is supposed to be a serious video. Listen, all I know is this. I have no idea whether or not the allegations are anywhere near true or false. I don't want to say anything that could be potentially damaging about Dr. Luke. I have absolutely no idea either way. However, what I do know is this. If somebody wants to leave their contract so badly that they would make up something like this, it is time to let them go. I understand that Sony may think that they're losing money, but what's the sense of having this artist on your label that doesn't want to be there? Either way, whether what she said was true or not, either way, if she wants to leave that badly that she's sitting up there crying her eyes out in court, this pop star who's trying to get her career back on track, Sony, please let her go. Hashtag FREEKESHA was trending #1 on Twitter again. This is the second or third day in a row. Hopefully Sony will get wind of the fact that fans like myself are on Kesha's side, and we will stand there and protest with signs outside of Sony if we have to get this young lady out of her contract. This is ridiculous. This is abhorrent. This is wrong, Sony. If she wants to leave that badly, please let her go. Sometime you and your partner need to become exes, because if one side is this unhappy, whether you did something wrong or not, you should want your former partner to be happy. At least give her that. You may have to tell her, well, you guys want something as part of this departure. For example, let's say, for example, she owes you 2 albums. Let her do just 1. Or if she owes you 1 album, penalize her. Like, for example, tell her, look, okay, it's going to cost you this such and such amount of money. For example, whatever new label picks you up has to pay us $500,000 or $1 million or whatever to get out of the contract. However, we will let you go, but here is how much you need to pay us in order for it to happen. And please, Sony, don't make it more than $500,000 to $1 million. I'm pretty sure Kesha wants to leave bad enough that she would do it. And we all know that she's worth it. She would make that money back fast. But hey, what's the sense of keeping this young lady around if she's not happy? Depart with her, Sony. Do the right thing. Be kind business people. You don't have to be so all about the money in this particular case, because this is an extreme case. She said that she suffered abuse. And we hear things about musicians going through things like this, and then they end up hurting themselves or hurting somebody else, or they flip out like how Britney Spears flipped out, and people are like, well, I don't understand how it happened, because of stuff like this. She's making some very damaging accusations. If I was at if I owned a record label, or I was a manager, producer, or whatever, if I had any involvement with this, I would say, look, okay, let her go right now. She's making these accusations. Please let her go. I don't want to be on the other side of this, the other side of these accusations. Please just void the contract and let her go on, move on with her life, and go do her thing, because it's not worth the hassle. Dr. Luke can find another artist. Maybe not one as good as Kesha, but the point is, because she's freaking awesome, but he can definitely find another artist to work with. And that's what he should have been doing all of this time. I hope he's not sitting around. He's an amazing producer. But anyways, this is all my opinion. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter @meatmagazine.